Justin, what's up, buddy? How we doing?
Hey, how's it going, Ryan?
Man, it is going great. So appreciate you doing this. We're gonna go through every single game for NFL Sunday. For people that are betting on sports, there's so many different ways to do it. We've been doing this, we call it what, the book. We've been doing this for what, 20, 25 years now?
Long time since middle school, I think.
So we go through each game. There's about it's ranged over the years in between like 15, 20 of us. We each pick every single game against the spread. We're allowed to have three best bets. So those games are worth twice as much. And it's I mean, I know it's your permanent fix for sports betting. I was telling people, I don't know how much you've listened, but there's so many guys that bet, 500 bucks a game and, do what Jeremy does. And I wanted to introduce, your way of betting on sports where you're betting what, 10, 15, 20 bucks a game and getting your fix
Yeah.
that way by doing survivor pools, fantasy, and then this contest. And it allows people to say, there's fun betting on sports when it's a lot of money, or you can do it this way.
Yeah, like in total, I bet a lot in total, but like it's spread across so many different things where like not all my eggs are in one basket. So like you said, we got the book. I play in four fantasy leagues. Sometimes I do Survivor. I'll bet, yeah, 10 to $20 on certain games that I really like, maybe a little more on something I'm really confident in. But yeah, like you said, it's spread out, and then you got DraftKings, all these different things that there's so many platforms now that it makes it easy.
And you've never significantly bet on money or even considered buying picks from somebody or anything like that, right?
No, not really. If I get on tilt some occasionally, maybe throw 100 on something, but that's rare.
So the what I'm trying to do, because you have two different people, and then we're gonna get to all the games, right? So you have two different types of people when they're betting on sports. You either have guys that are listening to somebody and just doing what they're doing, or I think you have what the overwhelming majority of people are doing, which they think they have a good opinion and they want to listen to a bunch of people, and then ultimately they make their own bets. And so I'm going to go through, we haven't talked about it. I don't know what side you're on. And I was going to pick you regardless to come on here because it's easy to talk to you about football and you have a good opinion. But I will brag for you that you did happen to win last year. And so people know you won going 58%, which is supposed to be considered like amazing, right? When someone says they can win 70, 75% of these games, we've been doing this for 20 years. I know your dad is involved. Like, nobody goes. I mean, you win 60%, you're throwing a party.
Yeah, you're not consistently ever going 70s. That's crazy.
So
Certain weeks, maybe, but over a course of a season, that's really unlikely.
so 58% for you last year, won
Yep.
the book. Um, so let's go through it, man. Let's just go through each game. And the reason we're going to do this on camera for everybody is just to give. Look, you don't have to pay people to get advice, right? It's you come here, you got Jeremy's games, and we're just going to try to say, hey, there's another perspective. We'll list all the games out when we're finished, but let's go through it. I want to hear your take on each game, see how much we agree. So I'm
Let's
going to
do it.
start off. I'm just going to pick the games, go in order. The spreads that we're using, I know everybody probably has different lines, a half a point here, point there. So just keep
Yeah.
that in mind. All right, ready?
Yep.
Cool. Bengals, Browns +2. Who you got?
That's what I see. I'm really back and forth on this game. I want to go with Cleveland, but for some reason their track record on opening games is really holding me back. I know that shouldn't be indicative of future results, but it is. And now that Burrow seems like he's fully healthy and back, I'm probably leaning Bengals. Uh, I don't know if Cleveland can keep up with them offensively, but like I said, I'm not really confident either way. I'd put it more close to 50-50 personally.
So I probably agree with you, but I did make the Browns the best bet because I feel like the line is weird and everybody will take the Bengals.
It is a little weird. And yeah, it probably factored in Burrow at first, but then the fact that it hasn't changed since, it does seem a bit odd.
Yeah, I would say that. So first of all, it's week one, right? So to have
Yeah.
super strong opinions, I'll be interested to see if you have strong ones. If we don't have strong ones, we'll just kind of keep moving. I got the Browns, but like you said, probably more of a 50-50 game. This one, I don't think is a 50-50 game. This is probably my favorite game. Curious to hear what you think about this. I love the Raiders. What do we got? 3? I don't even care what it is. It's +4.
I saw 4.
I got
So
I got the Raiders to win the game. I think the Broncos are terrible. I would have the under for the Broncos for the season. I don't know if the Raiders win 6 games or 9 games or whatever, but hate the Broncos.
I couldn't agree more.
Hey, there we go.
And I was down on the Broncos last year, and obviously that turned out to be a good thing. Hackett was a joke, even though Rodgers doesn't think so. But that's another story.
They
and
didn't
I
fix
I
anything.
didn't think Russell Wilson was the answer, and I still don't, even though they got Sean Payton. I have this overarching trend lately where I'm fading the older quarterbacks. I think this is a young quarterbacks league. Besides Brady, who is an outlier, he had a great run, but it ended last year because he couldn't do it anymore. All these old quarterbacks, I'm not buying. They've had good careers, but Russell
Plus
Wilson's
their
now
defense. Plus the
he's
thing
like
is,
he's probably 34 at this point. I think he's not done, but I don't like what I'm seeing from them. And even though I don't love the Raiders, this is kind of more of a fade the Broncos situation for me.
I was gonna say the Broncos lost their defensive coordinator, right? Isn't
I
he?
think so.
So I don't know. Can't definitely down the Broncos. All right, next game: Cardinals, Commanders. I guess you'd have to gamble on this game in order to watch it. We just had a home run, of course we did. Adley, fantastic. Turn this into an Orioles podcast if I'm not careful.
There you go.
Cardinals, Commanders -7. Who you got that game?
This isn't a spot where you'd like, at least Arizona, you can't really like that. So I don't know if you could like Washington side either, but I have a rule. I would never take Washington -7.
Right. That
I
was
don't care who it's against. I'm gonna take Arizona just for that reason, straight up.
Is the funniest storyline going in that Arizona thinks it's an advantage whether or not to tell the Commanders if it's Clayton Thune or Joshua Dobbs as quarterback. Like
That they're playing games, but who the
it
hell
was
the
like
quarterback's gonna be?
I was thinking about that and I was like, it's almost embarrassing to everybody involved, especially in this day and age where I guess you can just figure out. I mean, Dobbs is going to be the quarterback. They just signed him. The offensive coordinator worked with him. I assume the Cardinals keep it close, but for some whatever, right? It's Washington -7. I would recommend not betting on that game.
I agree. I could see it being ugly, but I'm not. I'm just. There's no way I'm taking Washington -7 in the book. I'll probably end up taking Arizona just because it's getting 7 points against the Commanders. But
This
yeah,
next
either way, I'd probably stay away. Could be an ugly game.
The next game, I would really like to watch. I don't have a strong opinion. Feel like it's 50-50 game, so I'm going to take the points. Carolina's getting 3.5 against the Falcons. What do you think on that one?
I have a similar thought. I remember these games last year. Like these teams weren't as good last year, and I was always saying, I'm just gonna take the points in these games. Whoever's getting the points, pretty much the road team. But I think both these teams they're probably semi-sexy picks, especially the NFC South is kind of weak this year. I think a lot of people are riding high on Atlanta. Someone on Carolina is going to depend on their rookie quarterback, Stroud.
You mean
Sorry, Bryce Young. Stroud's who we got
I
to
mean,
play on Sunday.
So so you take Carolina if you had to, but
Yes, although I think I would take Carolina.
yeah, I don't really have.
Not strong feeling either way.
I was gonna say me either. The next game, the Ravens. I know we're gonna disagree on this. I don't even want to say it, but we're recording it, and I have to say it. I just don't quite understand. I guess I don't like even being contrarian when it comes to the Ravens because I've just had my own opinions. Everybody has an opinion on the Ravens, especially you get yourself locked in social media. But I've always thought that Greg Roman did a great job, and I know that seems like a shitty opinion. And
Really?
yeah, I just feel that I feel like the smartest guys, it makes more sense to trust them. And I don't think he doesn't know how to call passing plays. I think that, and I hope I'm wrong from a fan's perspective. I really do. I think our quarterback has a difficult time reading the field when there's a lot going on. And that's why the playbook was designed the way it is.
Yeah.
I think he can develop it and figure it out, but I don't know. Giving 10 points, and I like the Texans actually.
I think the Texans are going to be improved, and it's a big spread. I'm not going to say I love the Ravens -9. I think it's down to 9.5. So
Like, is
I,
it crazy?
I wouldn't advise to really take either side.
Is it
Um,
crazy? Let me ask you this: is it crazy to think that we win 6 or 7 games this year? Like, is that on the board in your mind?
no, I don't think so. I think we'll get at least 9. I can't if Lamar stays healthy, I can't see us going under 500 personally.
And do you think the offense looks completely different?
Uh, I don't know. It's hard to tell. And I've thought this for a while with Roman. I do agree to some extent that maybe Lamar is limited in what he could see on the field, and when plays would develop and break down, what could happen. But I do want to see what he can do without Roman. It seemed like he was semi holding him back. And Monk can come in as just a fresh face, fresh perspective. I think it can only be good. I think we were very capped with what Roman had to offer. So I want to see what we can do. And it's Lamar's best group of offensive weapons since he's been here as well.
I
Zay
know.
Flowers looks real good. I like him a lot. OBJ, hopefully he provides somewhat. Uh, I
Well,
think he's getting a little overhyped. I don't know how much he has left. He'll maybe provide some good veteran leadership and get some big third down catches and stuff. I hope he can do more than that, but I don't expect too much from him.
I'd like to be wrong. I really do. So I won't even say anymore. I hope I'm wrong. But if you made me bet, if you made me, especially the way the division is, I think it's gonna be tough for us. But let's go. We'll address that each week, and I'm looking forward to talk about it because after week one, it'd be more fun to break down these games. But let's keep going.
Yeah, you can get a lot better feel, but going into week one, it can be really hard.
So this one, I think I'm obviously contrarian on this because I like the Colts. The Colts are getting 4.5 against Jacksonville. I feel like it's just division. I'm high on the Colts offense. So
Okay.
if you give
Okay.
me 4.5 points, I'm gonna take the Colts. You have a feeling either way on that game?
I lean Jacksonville. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite picks, but I really don't like the Colts this year. I think they could be really bad. I mean, they're a runner for win total. I think it's probably 5 or so.
I'm bullish on the Colts mainly because of the coach. I don't know exactly what the hell's going on with the running back. I don't know exactly what's going on with the front office, but I feel like the coaching staff and that quarterback, um, I just have a good feeling about him. They're one of those teams where if they can catch you the first couple of weeks. So you look at like these over unders for win totals, and
Yeah.
Jacksonville, I don't know, it's a tough place to play. 4.5 points, I like the Colts there. The next game, probably the best game. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but Niners Steelers getting 2.5. I know we hate the Steelers more than anything.
It's a
They're,
solid game. It is.
right. Everybody likes both teams this year. I think like the Steelers are a dark horse, but not really a dark horse because everybody seems to like them. What's
Yeah.
your take on the 49ers? Would you bet the over on their win total? And what do you think of this game?
Well, I guess what is their win total like 10.5? I think
Well, so
that's
you can
probably
always
around.
bet the different. I mean, whatever it is, you can always like buy it. I
Yeah,
always,
so you can
I
buy
always
different juice.
Right. I always say people don't like get caught up in the juice. Like, what's your opinion on the win total first? And then,
Yeah.
but yeah, let's just, for sake of argument, you think they win at least 11 games?
I'd say that's about right. 10, I mean, I think the over under is about right. In the week division week conference, I think 11 sounds accurate. I would say maybe 10, but then I'm thinking about they get to play the Rams twice, Cardinals twice. They should be able to beat up a little bit on the division. I do like Seattle.
I love the 49ers and I love them
But
at the spot.
yeah.
I think Pittsburgh's going to be good this year, but don't you think that the West Coast travel doesn't really matter the first week and the
Yeah, I
49ers?
don't think it'll matter. I do like San Francisco in this game. Pittsburgh should be somewhat improved. I still don't know about. I guess Watt should be healthy, but their offensive line still has problems. I don't, for whatever reason, their running game has not been able to get going the past few years, and that's gonna hurt a young quarterback.
I feel like their season ends with 8, 9, or 10 wins, but they sneak into the playoffs, but they win the first round playoff game because
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, they'll have like a good crowd and I don't know. I feel like I feel like they'll be good, but it might take them a few weeks to get going. The next game, I don't know if you're going to yell at me or not, but I feel it. I like the Buccaneers. They're
Oh,
6.5.
no, I do too.
You like the Bucks?
I love it.
So I actually like the Vikings too, but the Bucks, aren't they pretty good? Like, didn't
So
Brady? Where is it like
I
a take to say that Brady held him back last year?
so
There you
I
go.
I agree. I have two thoughts, both negative on Minnesota and positive on Tampa. I'll first start with Tampa. I agree. I think the shadow of Brady was kind of getting in the way for them a little bit, and now they're gonna have a fresh quarterback in there with most of the same offensive pieces. And I think Baker has something to prove. I definitely like them getting around 6.
Right.
I don't Minnesota. I'm looking back to last year. They were probably one of the luckiest teams in the history of NFL last year.
Right.
I think they regressed to the mean. They were winning all these close games, all these comebacks, and it showed in the playoffs when they couldn't even beat
But
a mediocre Giants team at home.
their team is good. Like, I like their
They
team.
they have some good players, and obviously Jefferson's probably the best receiver in the league. Cousins, he's he's good. It's nothing special.
Right. This game
Got
feels
rid of Cook.
this feels like the perfect red zone game, like 27-24, one way or the other.
Yeah, I love getting 6 points against the Vikings with I think like we agreed a decently solid Tampa team that could probably finish with 8 wins or so.
So Titans are at the Saints. Saints are 3.5. No one likes the Titans. Half the people you can find a lot of people that like the Saints. Some people don't.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I like in this game. I have Saints picked right now, -3.5, but I don't really know what I like.
Yeah, so I would like to get this at 3. Guess it depends where you get the spreads from. I hope in the book it stays at 3 and not 3.5. I do like the Saints. I just don't like 3.5 is always a funny number to be giving. I don't like the Titans this year. I think
Right.
Tannehill's kind of run his course there. Um, I also think he's still Derrick Henry, but his wheels gotta fall off sooner or later.
It's
They're
like
just running him into the ground.
right. Both teams can't win the Super Bowl, in my opinion. And so it's like, I don't know. It feels like
I
both
mean,
teams are just
Derek Carr is probably an improvement from what they had last year, and I love Olave. Their defense is pretty solid.
their coach is terrible. And
Yeah, that could be holding them back.
right. Packers
But
Bears.
I like the Saints in that game as long as it's 3.
Packers Bears. Bears -2. Where are you leaning that way?
This is a toughie. It's like new look. Like it's not the Packers of old for sure without Rodgers. They're used to dominating the Bears. It kind of seems like most people have the Bears rising and the Packers falling. I think the Packers. It's kind of the same thing. Like when the Bucks, if Brady's not there anymore, they could have been getting held back. I think
I
it could be a similar situation for Green Bay. Maybe they were just like Rodgers ran his course. I do like their coach, LaFleur, and they still have some good weapons. Jones and Dillon running backs. I like Watson. Hopefully he plays. I saw he's questionable. A couple other their weapons are also questionable.
think
But
Watson's out, actually.
in the Bears with Fields and their improvements, they could be better too. I don't love either side, but I think I'm leaning Green Bay.
Yeah, I want to see it. Hard to have too strong of an opinion on those two teams until I see more.
Yeah, the Bears hype train. I just feel like that's maybe not going to work out, but you never know.
Seattle -4.5. That's probably my favorite game, because the Rams, I think, are trying to lose. I don't know if Stafford gets traded, but
Yeah,
Dominic,
without Cup, I think the Rams could be the worst in the league.
right?
Worst team.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks. Love the Seahawks.
I did
Next
too.
next game is Dolphins Chargers. We got 4 left. Dolphins Chargers probably is my ultimate 50-50 game where I just expect crazy plays. Do you have a strong take on that one?
Not too strong. I like both teams this year. I think both.
Right. I like
If we can go into the futures we want to, I like the Dolphins to win that division. We'll get to the Bills and Jets later, and I'll talk about
yeah,
that.
Dolphins you can get close to 3-1.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put that in. I haven't done it yet, but I will. I like as long as Tua, he's got injury concerns, but if he can stay healthy and they do right by him and kind of keep him upright, I like them a lot, but I also like the Chargers. I love Herbert. I think he's one of the best in the league. Um, but
Where
the problem for the Chargers is their home field advantage isn't really a home field advantage. So there'll probably be a bunch of Dolphins fans there. I never like giving points when they're a home team.
right? Because
So I think it's a coin toss.
it's kind of skewed, but the Dolphins don't have like it's not like the Dolphins have the best fan base in the world.
No, they don't, but it seems whoever goes there has a bunch of fans. Same with going to the Rams. Like LA is not a football town. It's just not.
Eagles, Patriots, Patriots plus 4.5. I feel like smart football people want to take the Patriots, but I just don't feel like it's there. It's a bad matchup. And if they're going to play from behind, I like the Eagles. What about you?
I lean the Eagles. Don't love it. Don't think it's 50-50, somewhere in between there.
Right.
I agree. I think the Sharps are gonna try to take New England. The public's gonna see 4. Like it's not that much, but it's not like it's 2.5 or 3. Philly, they still got their core. I think they're gonna be really good again. Maybe they're not gonna have the start like they did last year, but Hurts is for real. And I don't like Mac Jones. I think New England they're kind of stuck in mediocrity, really.
I think the next game is my maybe most contrarian pick because I don't have the Cowboys making the playoffs. I think the Giants are just as good as they are last year. So I like the Giants this week plus 3.5, mainly because I think the Cowboys I think they regress. That's my I don't know if it's whatever. My most contrarian take of the entire season is
Yeah,
Cowboys
because
winning.
Cowboys are usually a popular pick to do well and all that.
Where are you at with Cowboys?
I think Dallas will be pretty good. I think the Giants, similar to the Vikings, I think they kind of had a lucky year last year. Daniel Jones did show improvement, so that definitely helped them. And Barkley was healthy on everything. But I think their Giants are probably a 7 or 8 win team. Dallas, unlike you, I do think they make the playoffs. I don't have a super strong feel on either side, but I think I'm taking Dallas.
So last game and we got Bills Jets. I don't care if the Bills are favored by 7. If you watched Hard Knocks, I know you said you didn't watch
Yeah,
it.
give me your insight on that. Yeah, I wanted to get to it, but I just haven't.
I don't know if everybody might be just as corny, but the Jets feel super corny, and I feel like they're not as talented. I don't know. Everybody says they're super talented on defense. If you really get into the weeds of who they beat last year, it was a lot of bad quarterbacks. I'm
Mhm.
I'm against the Jets. Their schedule's tough. If they win the first week, it makes it a lot easier. But I think Buffalo, they dominated the Rams last year in that prime time on the road. And I don't know. I remember just a lot of it always feels like it's easier to jump off a team after a few years when they don't like live up to expectations. So nobody's picking the Bills to win the Super Bowl this year.
Really? You don't think anyone is?
Not anybody. Maybe I like the Bills. Do you like the Bills?
I don't actually. So maybe I didn't know
It
maybe
feels
you're
to
seeing more
me
than I have. Maybe some people are agreeing with me. I think I kind of have a feeling that this is where they
the end
fall
of
off a little bit. That's
so
what
you
I'm.
got the
It's
Bills
just a
making.
gut feeling I have about Buffalo.
So you got the Dolphins winning the division
And that's what I was gonna say. I don't really like the Bills or the Jets that much this year, so I'm gonna kind of default to who I think.
or the Patriots.
That's nah.
So what do you got? 3 in the North.
Well, I mean, Jets or Bills could make the playoffs. I just don't like them to win the division. Although I think one of my favorite, what's it called, under the radar picks is Bills missing the playoffs.
Bills
I don't know
miss.
what the odds are gonna be.
So I was thinking about it. So the Bills, Bengals, Ravens, Jaguars, Chiefs. I'll exclude the Chargers, but one of those teams has to miss the playoffs because that's just the way football works. Because once everybody
Right.
agrees, and for
And I'm leaning the Bills. Although I mean, Chiefs is only one game without Kelsey, but I was kind of feeling that way again about them too. It's like at some point this string of success kind of falls off a little bit. And the Bills had a bunch of crap go down in their season last year, and it kind of probably affected them coming to playoffs. But just they got manhandled by Cincinnati in that playoff game. And I feel like it showed me something. I don't know if
something that's
holding
like,
holding too much weight for that game, but for some reason I have a feeling Buffalo is not going to be as good as they've been. Maybe they'll get 9 wins or so. I'm just going to take a flyer on maybe AFC is so tough that they somehow miss out.
Okay, so before we go, because we only have a minute, I have to ask you. There's two things that happened during the game last night, and I know we both had the same like similar personal life where once the game's on late at night, you can't be like super loud.
Yeah.
You have to keep your thoughts to yourself. Did the Lions decline? Did you see them decline a penalty where it would have been 1st and 10 instead of 2nd and 2, and no one talked about it at the end of the game? It was a 10-yard penalty. It was a holding on the Chiefs. The Lions got excuse me, the Lions got 8 yards on 1st down.
Okay. Was this when the Lions were trying to run out the clock?
No, what the
Or
fuck?
before that?
They scored a touchdown on the drive.
Okay, that drive. Okay.
But he'd rather have 2nd and 2 instead of 1st and 10. I went on Twitter. I never do this, but I went on Twitter to just start like finding people to like talk to for a second. Did you see that? Did you see that?
I don't
All right,
recall
so
that play.
we'll talk about it later. But
I just
yeah,
remember it. Yeah, I just remember
guys
it.
listening, it literally the Lions tried to lose the game and the Chiefs receiver just dropped it. And if you listen to people talk about things, it's all result based.
That I know
Everything's supposed to be
happened.
result based, right?
Tony really screwed Mahomes in that game.
All right, listen, we got to wrap up. This was really cool, so I'm glad we did it. We'll listen to it, figure out how to make it better, and we'll be back next week. Appreciate you doing this, man.
Yeah, we'll keep doing it and see what we can do from there.
Sweet. Thanks, Jess.
Yep, no problem.